And just like that, we are live. Brilliant. Looks like we are all systems go. That is just the kind of cabbage I love to see right here roasting on this potato. You know the drill at this point earlier in the stream. Just gonna talk a little bit as we move and get to it. Just gotta vibe with the music a little bit. You know how it goes. I'm just having a good time vibing here with the music. I'm not sure if you have any additional content you wish to give, but hey, you know how it goes. Alright, as far as I can tell, I've thrown that every which way we can. But hey, I'm here to enjoy it, and I hope you are too. We're just gonna see let's do supply and demand and puff. New game normal. Wunderbar. Now, set it all to random. Restart the mission. And let's get this show on the road. Just need to iron out a few more things beforehand. That is one place I didn't throw it. I didn't make a YouTube post. As you can tell, I am flying by the seat of my pants. And what a pants-like seat it is. Boom. So, anybody who would care does know that we're live. you can't get the door, so that's good for us. We've got, what, Old World Rifle up above? Boom. Let's go Severed Lich Arm for our roll here. I think that's a good one. Oh, fuck. And the grenade launcher. Golly gee, we are fucking cooking with gas here. Boom. I know this is just a normal mode randomizer, but goddamn, that was hey, and I also did it with only melee weapons. Because you and me both know that that is in fact a melee weapon when you hit somebody with an explosive. Or when you turn them to ash. Either way, you know, we're still talking melee weapons here. It's just a bit of a funny colored melee weapon and smells a little bit different than a normal melee weapon would. But hey, that's the gas we're cooking with here, you know? Okay, we got that. Okay. Did I screw myself? Maybe. Not completely, because we've got that out there, but... where does that spit us? Okay. That's not very helpful. Yep, come on. Get a move on. How's it going, Bite? And I'm having a damn good time getting our Deadbolt randomizer back up and running. It is probably one of my favorite things that I've been messing with as of late. How about you? What's new on your end of the world? Shit, we got on the wrong side of the door. Fuck. Okay, what do we got? Knife. Okay, that's not quite as nice as I was hoping, cause yeah, that. God, techie. How do we want to handle the techie? It is a damn fun game, let me tell you what. It's admittedly one of the lesser known Hopo properties, which, you know, unfortunately doesn't mean much considering, you know, their other property is Risk of Rain, which is pretty fucking popular from what I understand. Managed to miss the knife throw. Missed a second knife throw. As you can tell, I am a professional at this game. But yeah, I would highly recommend this game if you're, you know, if it interests you, which I know is the most cop-out fucking answer possible. Yeah, it also helps that the music was made by the same guy for Risk of Rain, Chris Udlio. It is probably some of the best soundtrack music possible. It's right over there, but I've got the soundtrack on vinyl. He shoots you. I'm not sure if you're aware of this, Bite, but he tends to shoot you when you stand out in the open without cover. Okay, yeah, turn around. Ooh, Tommy gun. That is a nice roll. Okay. Hey, I unfortunately don't have as big of a vinyl collection as I would like to, but next big purchase I'm thinking about vinyl-wise is probably going to be like Bad Out of Hell or Boston's first album. But yeah, it's honestly mostly the collection value, or not the collection value, but it's a fucking vinyl, man. They are such cool things to have around and listen to. Got my dad's old turntable, which is absolutely amazing. It takes up a lot of space, but goddamn, it is fun to have around. And just so you're aware, but I will say this, I am not Wugs. I have not figured out how to make the chat delay like fucking half a second like he did. So it is about 20 seconds, I believe. I have managed to get it consistently 20 seconds, and that's going to be good enough for me at this point before I get like a fucking god tier GPU or whatever. Just so you are aware. Okay, grenade launcher. Cool. Yeah, just wanted to give you fair warning that I am in fact not Wugs, which means I can actually read. What are we looking at here? Okay, cool. We can work this. Nope. Alright, again, do you know that grenade launchers are melee weapons? It might not be the most immediately apparent thing, but they are in fact melee weapons. Boom. There's a level coming up that I am not looking forward to. It has been a massive thorn in every single run I do. It's gonna come up in quite a few levels, but I'm gonna be honest with you, man, I am dreading it already. I mean, he has his magic little skills, and what do we got for... I don't like this setup. Yeah, no, we're dead. We all have our skills, and his is showing the downfall of the Canadian education system, it seems. Okay, we got a flashbang up there. That down below. Too close for my liking. Cool. Grenade launcher, headhunter. We've got this. And with the... that down there. Played my hand a little too early, but nothing too bad. God damn it. Yeah, I celebrated too early. Boom. Lich Arm. That is beautiful. That's over the vent. Shit. Okay, so you don't know this, but that is a landmine. They like to detonate they like to detonate when you stand on them. And oh, that is a massive annoyance for me, which actually reminds me what I was gonna say. His whole talk about trying to figure out the word aria was a massive headache for me. It's like I'm well aware that I should not be expecting, you know, somebody who does not have a, god damn it, a background in like classical music and opera to be able to, you know, pull the definition of aria out of their ass, but goddamn, it really bothered me, and you can fuck right off, Scotch. But this is a close friend of mine, flesh side, and continuous pain in my side, John Doe, also known as Scotch. If you're looking for someone to speedrun Deadbolt in an unreasonable manner, or give you even more insane bullshit right off the cuff, he is your man to go to. Fuck, he's blocked by the door. There we go. Right, that is sorted. It is probably one of my favorite go-to terms when talking about my real life. God, that is... How the fuck did I get 5 stars on that? I will never understand the mission rating system. I'm sure Jag or Scotch could give you a firm grasp on it, but I have yet to find a good explanation behind it. What are we looking at here? Okay, this is actually pretty good. Oh, please do not give me credit for it, because that is a mildly horrifying phrase to hear somebody just drop out of the blue with little to no context. There's a door there. Doors tend to be semi-bulletproof, and I proved that. Fuck. Hey, if I don't give you the intro card, you're gonna do some bullshit that will intrude even further. So, lesser of two evils. Okay, there we go. What do we have upstairs? Okay. Okay, this is actually a really good seed. Yes, I am speed running war, death, famine, and fucking tuberculosis all in one go. You know me. Main thing I really love about Deadbolt is the soundtrack. The soundtrack is probably like the defining point for me, but beyond that, like, there's a lot of just replayability, especially with the randomizer mod that I ended up accidentally creating. It's probably one of my more lasting achievements within the internet, I will admit. Ooh, we can actually maybe fully Baba Yaga this. Nope, we're not gonna Baba Yaga this. Yeah, it is definitely more puzzle than it is shooter, which is part of why I love it so much. Mainly because it's not a genre you'll really see all that much of, specifically the puzzle shooter genre, just because, you know, how are you gonna exactly bill a game as a puzzle shooter? Okay, full 9mm. But yeah, it's the puzzle shooter aspect on top of just being able to do something in the background with minimal input from your brain, especially once you've figured out how to fully go for it. It's definitely not something I think Wugs would immediately jump on, but it could be interesting to see how he approaches it. You know, using the streamer that we have in common as a reference point. And I didn't step on any landmines. That is a really good one. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Hotline Miami, but that is one of the games that it gets compared to quite a lot. You know, for better and worse. It can... While there are similarities, I would say it is different enough that it does not deserve to be fully living in Miami's shadow. I mean, who the hell would want to be in Miami to begin with? Yeah, the really cool thing about the randomizer is it's... I mean... You did see that Jag has been vague posting the shit out of, you know, some big project. You know, obviously he won't tell us what it is, but Jag clearly thinks it's important enough that he's probably signed like fucking 500 NDAs with how little he's talking over, god damn it, the whole thing that he's done. Oh, that is really fucking nice. Yeah, no, you have a mild addiction. Well, I was gonna ask you, Scotch, do you know if the blunderbuss has AP capabilities? 'Cause was hoping to get through the entire floor. But yeah, I think this is a really good level to show the whole idea of the shooter puzzle gimmick. 'Cause, you know, these heads... The disconnected heads, you know, if you kill them, you kill the body. But they're also, you know, attached to a really high... they're also attached to a really high frequency firing weapon, which is really interesting when you have to deal with that. God, that is going to be a nightmare. Do we have anything armor piercing? And yes, it is just a mild addiction, Scotch. You can do better. Okay, what do we got here? Headhunter and that. Okay, that's a pretty good duo. God damn it! Okay, just slightly stronger. I will say, we have been getting really good drops for this opening area, if I do say so. Very good drops. I just want something armor piercing here, because with that we should be able to just steamroll the entire area. Boom. Are we seriously gonna go double grenade launcher? Like, I don't have anything against that as a concept, but... God damn it. The height of doorways being a problem was not something I anticipated within this. If nothing else, we can just clear those and then grab that. Okay, backup. What are we dealing with? Okay, so they can't enter. Cool, we need to cut off Diet Teamer before he causes us massive issues. Alright, that's done with. Now we just need to get back up to the top and go about properly playing the lockpick minigame because somebody refuses to do that. Do you see how I'm able to quickly get to all of the lockpick combinations I need without looking like someone having a seizure? That is a very pointed attack at you, Scotch. Yeah, well, somebody's got to keep us slightly taller than average. Fucking hell. Wugs might not be able to read, but I sure as hell cannot speak. Slightly taller than average people second guessing whether or not a door frame is the right height. What are we dealing with here? Scythe. That is a good shout. Oh. I don't think you get to say anything about that, 'cause you are fucking massive, good sir. I know you can crack it 2 seconds faster, but you're also gonna get fucking athlete's wrist. 'Cause you're just trying to do that when you could be doing something a lot more productive with your life. Cool, got that. I love the fact that the Lich Arm does not have any drop. And also, boom. Get that out of the way. Got one up top. Cool, one over there. I don't see any landmines, which is a good sign for me. Reservation just for you. I know you're always speed running. You're also always on speed. But yeah, I ended up stumbling across this. Would probably be of interest to you, Scotch. Where's the Ash Cache? I forgot. A album commentary or a soundtrack commentary done by Chris on his YouTube channel. It's really interesting. He goes into stuff like the whole theme and variation that he does across all the tracks. You know how the Reaper's theme is da ba da ba da ba, and how he essentially just transposes that across the entire soundtrack. I'm gonna see if I can catch it here. Yeah, I haven't listened to any Risk of Rain. One of our mutual acquaintances he is really into Risk of Rain. Okay, I can't immediately hear any instance of the theme in its transposition. But, you know, it's the whole ba-da, 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 and that shows up in every single piece in some form or another. I just can't find it off the top of my head within this little piece. I do want to try Risk of Rain, though. It looks like a pretty fun game, even without doing Risk of Rain Returns. Okay. But yeah, it is... Sure, whatever you say, Scotch. But yeah, it is a really cool thing to actually look into, like, the minutia of the music theory that's being done with the soundtrack. Because I've got a fairly limited background in music. It, you know, obviously it's in classical music, specifically oboe and tenor saxophone, which is a fascinating combo to try and work with. That is a disgusting combo to see right there. Okay. Fuck. Landmine. Landmine. Right on. What? I'm gonna go out on a limb and assume you play an instrument, so what's your instrument of choice? Fucking Night Stalkers. What do we got? Okay, Succubus. Sorry, they're not succubi, there's a politically correct term for them that I'm spacing on at the very moment. Oh, nice. Yeah, guitar is definitely one of those things that I've always said, oh, I'll pick it up one of these days, and I hate to tell you this, Bite, one of those days has not come yet. And I'm not sure when it's gonna come, but by God, it's gonna come one of the days. Didn't switch in the right direction. Is this when you're gonna secretly reveal to me, Scotch, that you are a 12-string genius and, you know, play with Mark Knopfler on the weekends, just like how Alex, you know, is like 2 degrees removed from Pink Floyd or Cherry Garcia? Okay, Revenant. Okay, well, blunderbuss for you. Double Revenant, that is a combo and a half. God damn, I did not need to mess all of those shots. Hey, I would be so down to do some samurai covers, like, even of, like, their stuff that CDPR was too cowardly to make versions of, like, you know, it's what, like On My Axe, which is one of the original 2020 songs. Boom. Now we just need to make it down without me stepping on another fucking landmine. Like so. Yeah, I would honestly be so down to just like try and mess around with some of the new Cyberpunk tracks that, you know, probably should have been released before the kit that we did get got released, but that is a tale for a separate stream when I go over your whole playbook of Not My Cyber, Not My Punk. Oh, nice. Which song? I didn't watch the full wug through of E33, mainly because I was focusing on some other stuff, but the story is really interesting. You know, obviously, considering it won Game of the Year, though I am questioning its win for Best RPG, that I blame the French. Okay, that's a pretty good setup. Yeah, I'll definitely check that out, but wasted ammunition. Oh god, that's even worse. Where does this spit us out? The fuck do you mean you can go through floors? That is some cocksuckery. Look at Unve Tamir. Which boss is that? Oh, maximum entropy might not be my speed, but if we finally bring our boy Jack Entropy into the Year of Our Lord 2077, that could be so fucking cool. Nope. You're supposed to get to me, not away. That's the issue with you trying E33 Scotch is you need to get through like half a dozen other games, including Blood and Wine, which I am still not entirely sure how you have managed to not play that, but you know, you do you. Hey, if that's what gets, you know, you and your creative juices flowing and creating content, that is all that matters. You know, take it from me, somebody with, you know, a almost acceptable number of subscribers to be having for the bullshit they're pulling. Okay, we got a silenced over there. God, fuck. Ah, the Renoir. Yeah, Renoir probably has some of, like, my favorite songs and stuff just in general from what I have seen of E33. Their fucking arms. Death and taxes? Don't mind if I do. Come on, Trotsky. Come up the fucking stairs. Bliet, I believe, would be a good filler word to add here. Got Dusk Night Out is giving me trouble. I don't even want to imagine how fucking Lux is gonna look like this time around. God, I know I'm using a fair amount of unnecessary vulgarity, but my mind is being torn to shreds by this horrifying realization. Look, Scotch, I used cover. Are you happy? God damn it. Have a good one, man. We'll talk when we talk, and best of luck on that test. Right now, there are a few things I dread more than Lux. And that's not just because I haven't run the Cyberpunk game in a while. Okay, this is not nearly as bad as like a Dark Souls randomizer. Let's look at it in a positive way, right? We can look at this in a positive manner that does not immediately necessitate me descending into absolute insanity. Too close for my liking. God damn it. You know, normally people get really good at games before they try to do randomizers. You see, I am bucking that trend by being just okay at the game I'm doing a randomizer run of. Okay, what are we looking at? Okay, we got 9 mil. I can work with a 9 mil. You know, I'm not dealing with additional landmine bullshit. Fuck. Time to find out how many times I can swear before YouTube permanently removes my ability to be monetized. God. It's a trial by something. Not sure if I would call it fire, but dear God, it's a trial. Didn't quite get the dance there, right? Okay, this... what I was saying earlier about demon variation, I think this is the perfect track to do it, because it should be coming up where we just passed it. I think we just passed it, but you can really clearly hear the Ba-da, 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 ba-da. God, I should get back into music. I really should. I've gotten to the point where I have preemptively decided the first emote I am making for the channel is a landmine. They have given me so much trouble in every single game I have played, be it Metro or this or literally any other game. Okay, what keycard am I missing? That one. Cool. Now we just need to get the information. And cool, we don't need to kill everyone. That is a nightmare to deal with in a randomizer like this. And again, somehow I get a 5-star rating. Maybe it's like Michelin stars, you know, if you get 5 stars, it clearly means something's going wrong. Oh yeah, I'm really impressed by Wugs' ability to, this is it, this is my nightmare, to choose good emotes for the channel. It is a massive skill that I'm not sure how he picked up. It might have been from his time on Twitch, but he has, like, the perfect set of emotes and a fairly good rotating stock. Okay, what do we got? Flashbang, Sledge. Sledge is good. We can use that to clear him out. That aggroed her. That's not what I wanted to happen. That got activated. God damn it. I think it also helps that he is a very expressive person, which, god damn it, is something I am not, except when it comes to having a whole bunch of expletives leave my mouth with a vocabulary that is probably too verbose for my own good. But that is the main reason why I started doing this whole YouTube thing. It is an attempt for me to express myself better. Sounds PT. Sure. And like, it's fascinating even watching Wugs from a few years ago, how much of a change he's had into the far more expressive person we have today, who, you know, we get the whole Orphan of Kos fight. And all that comes with that. Ooh, that is, I'm not complaining about this start. Okay, I'm gonna complain about that start. God damn it. Okay. I don't see any bottles. That's a good sign. We can work with this. Sledge, even better. Yeah, when was your entry point into the, you know, legally distinct, not a cult God damn it. Now we are really moving on the quest to see how many times I can say God damn it before YouTube decides to come in and say no. Right on. I think that, I'm not sure when you were, but I think we are honestly at the same entry point then, which is really weird to think that there are people who entered later than us, but at the same time, you know, there's people who joined before. Time's fucking weird, man. That is all I have to say on the matter. Fuck you, Trotsky. So, tactical and knife. I mean, hell, the fact that Queth, you know, our moderator extraordinaire, is a later entry point than me is weird to me. No. Landmines. Landmines are the bane of my existence, which is good because it means, you know, the landmine is properly mining, but it also means that I have a tension headache anytime one of them shows up. Yeah, when did he get mods? Because, you know, it was later than he probably should have. But I can't think of the point when our two mods ended up joining. Ah, that would do it, and he could probably handle everything himself. That first Dark Souls 1 stream of trying to play hot or colder, directing him to the DLC entrance was definitely a choice for, you know, your first stream, but he handled it pretty well. Fuck. What do we got in here? Okay, that's a decent enough mix, nothing too special, but it's better than nothing. You know, this is actually a really cool level when it's not being randomized, because it is really well designed, and all of the enemies are well placed with good weapon, you know, good weapon layout. And then the randomizer comes and absolutely fucks that all up. Okay, we've got that. Suppressed shotgun, 32 Tommy. Cool, we can do that. Suppressed there. We better get something armor piercing, because that is gonna be hell to deal with. Like I just proved, it was in fact hell to deal with. Okay, Death and Taxes, Scythe. Good placement of them. Throwing Star, that's not ideal, but not horrid. Lich Arm, that's good. Okay, are they all gonna move downstairs? Because I would be happy enough to oblige that as an option. At least we got the post-mortem. Yeah, I mean, we don't talk about the God of War or Red Dead Redemption days. Or, you know, God forbid, the Pal World time, which, as far as I can tell, he seems to be rather insistent on denying the existence of. It would be absolutely amazing if he just decided, you know what, I'm gonna come out of retirement and beat Red Dead Redemption 2 now. It would be a complete departure from his normal fare, yes, but I think that could be an absolute riot. I was aiming too low. Why didn't you tell me, Bite? I was aiming way too low for that. I need to think up of a good replacement cuss word, because the word fuck is starting to lose any and all meaning to me right now. I do wish that he would branch out a little more in non-Wug God exclusive stuff. Just cause that was probably some of my favorite streams of his, where he's just trying something new. You know, like, you know, we don't mention it these days, but Space Marine 2 was a... I understand that, you know, he hated it with every ounce of his being, but it was interesting to see somebody so inept at the genre give it a try. Okay, what do we got? Suppressed, Headhunter. I'm gonna stop you before you get much further. Yeah, that was the important thing. We get rid of the landmine. Oh yeah, the edited Let's Plays are absolutely his strong suit. But I do feel like his, you know, him getting the chance to just, you know, mess around with something that isn't his usual fare with us is one of the really fun parts of the early channel stuff. Wasn't open long enough for me to get that. Yeah, I think we'll have to circle back and go from there. We'll swap the suppressed for Death and Taxes. going back to previous conversations points, I really do appreciate his skill when it comes to editing his Let's Plays into easily digestible and fun to watch stuff. And I'm gonna clam up for a little bit, because if this goes poorly, I get to redo all of the stuff I did before. Nope. Those are too close. The fall takes too long. If I go shotgun, that won't work. Okay, managed to get that to work. Cool. Now, if we sever Lich Arm... Okay. How long did that take? 14 minutes. That is by far my best time on Lux in Tenebris. Holy shit. You do not know how much of a fucking pain in the ass Lux in Tenebris can be for me. But we managed to fucking do it. It's all because of you, Bite. Congratulations. Give yourself a pat on the back. I'll even give you a raise. You've earned this one. And from here, only major holdup is what? Sir Stella? And even then, that's not a big one. From here, it is smooth sailing. Where's your phylactery? That's a boring spot to put your phylactery. Why can't you put it somewhere really inconvenient for me? That's what you're supposed to do. You know, I'm out, so we need to grab something. Right? I think I might have screwed the pooch on this one. You know, we legitimately cannot beat this level, 'cause I need a weapon to deal with any of them. The only person I can punch to death is gonna be the wrench guy or him. And even then, you know, they don't drop any weapons. Shit. That is bothersome. Okay, sledge. I can actually play with a sledge. Boom. Ooh, the theme and variation thing I was mentioning before, that literally right there is, or technically transposition, I think, since it's not in the... I'm trying to remember the difference between transposition and theme and variation. But that segment right there is a really good example of the whole theme and variation within the soundtrack. It only took me referencing its existence half a dozen times, but my god, I just proved to you that it did exist Come on. God damn it, I don't want another dog. Minime. Minime Kerberos. Cool. Tom. Use him as an introduction. We got a Revenant. Seek. Sapientia. Latin, Romane, et... the fuck is small? Minimus. Sapientia minimus, Latin, Romane. It has been a long-ass time since I did it, since I, like, fully went through Latin, but... I took 5 years of Latin, and I really enjoyed the class. I admittedly was more interested in the cultural side of the class, but I can stumble my way through a few sentences. Oh god, the fuck is this? You can spin all you want, Trotsky. This is a better start anyway. I didn't want the previous one. Fuck. Yeah, my basic knowledge of Latin has given me a newfound appreciation for FromSoft's battle themes in some situations, specifically the ones that aren't, you know, them repeatedly going ah or e. I mean, that is the cool thing about English's most annoying trait of being, you know, 3 languages in a trench coat, Robin the fourth. You can generally, oh god, phylacteries. You can generally understand bits and pieces of a whole lot of languages. Yeah, I'm trying to remember what the other major one is, because, you know, obviously French is a major draw for some of the fancy words, you know. If you want to say something all fancy like, you go with the French version. If you want to sound more down to the earth, simple, you're going to go with one of the Germanic roots, which, you know, Old Norse is one of the many ones that's sort of borrowed from. I believe that, it's, I want to say, like, one of the Saxon languages, because I don't think there's a lot of Angle words within English, but that is also because I don't know a lot of, like, Angle base words. There we go. It's English, or yeah, is it Norman? No, that's a French variant. But yeah, it's French, English. English is made up of English. That that's some fun little trivia for you, Bite. That it's Latin, French, German, and then the fourth one I would add in would be like Greek. Just because a lot of our scientific words, you know, obviously come from Greek. Okay, 10 mil. Boom. Landmines down. Okay, we can get the phylactery. You know, my knowledge of like Anglo and Saxon stuff is limited to the fact that, you know, I know that they're separate cultures and obviously are gonna have their own separate stuff, but yeah. That's what you get for trying to sound smart while focusing on this. Do want to learn more about that era. I just not sure the direct route to go for it, because again, obviously doesn't have the most sources. What the fuck are you doing over here? I'm gonna believe you on this one, since the last time I tried to sound smart, I made a complete ass of myself. Why the fuck did she come over? Oh god, and we got you. Yeah, God damn it, Bite, what do I pay you for? I pay you to be, what was it, my eyes and ears, my expert on Anglo and Saxon, just general like immediate post-Gaelic society in the British Isles, and I don't know, probably to like drive my car or something, but what do I pay you for if not those things, good sir? You're gonna take a pay cut. Okay, got that. You can get a raise when you start doing your job properly. Got a fucking phylactery up there. Okay, so we got you and you. That can be solved easily. Boom. Got that. Oh, this is not a bad setup depending on what backup we get. This all depends on what backup we get, because this is either going to be a really nice and easy one, or it's gonna be hell. So the answer is it was relatively easy until I managed to bung it all up. Okay, you are a good shout. tea's gone cold. Okay, I think that is your other job, but you need to keep my tea warm. Which I will admit is probably one of the harder things to do, given my propensity to just forget about it off to the side. Okay, Nightcrawler. Had to waste that shot. But we'll see what comes when we start to swing this one. God damn it. God damn it. Hey, somebody's got to do it, and it sure as hell isn't going to be me. Who else could I trust to do it? Scotch? I'd trust him with my life, but with a job like this, no thank you. He's as reliable as a chocolate hammer in this situation. He'd probably spike my tea with arsenic just for the shits and gigs. And remember, Bite, we are paying an exposure here. That's fucking annoying. What do we got up here? Okay, a general. Wish we would get something that would drop us a weapon, because we are running mighty low at the moment. God damn it. They've got another general. Cool, so I am just straight up out of munitions. I'm trying to figure out how to do this. Okay, both Angle and Saxon. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Okay, 32, 32. Why does it have to be this weird configuration of bosses? This is awful. Like, this is a legitimately awful setup that we're dealing with. Okay, at least we have a grenade launcher up there. Actually, since you're already Wikipediaing, sure, let's use that as a verb. Does it mention if Angle and Saxon dialects had any, like, unique aspects to them beyond just being, like, a cultural thing, obviously? Turns out, you know, when you're dealing with cultural stuff, it tends to involve cultures, but does it specifically mention if we're dealing with specific language variants? Boom. Stage is done. Okay, yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if that is something we would require, like, an actual PhD. I've spent my entire life focusing on this specific aspect of this era person, because that is probably getting just esoteric enough that it's worthwhile to, you know, devote your whole life to figuring out, okay, Angles, Saxons, what was their linguistic differences, how do we figure that out, because I'm not sure how much written culture they had. That actually is an interesting question onto its self. How much, like, written culture did the Angles and Saxons have? Boom. Un, deux, trois. God damn it. Let's go with Kolva. Kolva is a nice word that we can use to express our annoyance with. Nope. I want to go in the vent. I said I want to go in the vent. Why are you not letting me do that? Hello. There we go. One of you guys gotta give me a good AP weapon. There we go. You did. Don't see anything else that'll cause significant issue. Still swap over to that. How much? Okay, yeah, no, we're going with combat shotgun here. Boom, boom, boom. Now we go in, take a look. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Really? I mean, you know, obviously the Magna Carta is, like, our defining bit of when history, as in, you know, like, actual written history started. So, do wonder, like, what our earliest, like, decent chronicling of history is within that region. You know, God bless the English for writing a whole bunch of shit down, especially when it came to properly taxing their subjects. Oh yeah, if you can't tell by my continued ramblings, I find this whole history thing just so fascinating. Yeah, no, we need to reset this one. Yeah, the transition from, like, ecclesiastical Latin and, like, classical Latin alongside just everything else with that is so fascinating to me. And, like, deciding what is worth writing down, because I'm not sure if you watch like Tasting History with Max Miller, but he had a really interesting episode this last week, where he goes over like the differences of like, and like the potential origins of like shepherds and cottage pie, and like, you know, what, okay, yeah, no, this is a dead end, and like what makes it, you know, what, and I believe our earliest source of the like proper word of cottage pie comes from just this random dude who, you know, wrote down some of the meals he ate, and like that was all he put in his diary. And like that is like one of the random little tidbits that we know about because of him. And like, oh yeah, this, I was served a cottage pie on, you know, this day by my housekeeper. It was okay. I also stopped smoking, so my coughs don't hurt as bad. It's like random stuff like that. It's just so fascinating because, you know, someone had to decide, you know what, I'm gonna write this down. And, you know, by luck, that bit of writing managed to survive, and guess what? We now know that a random fucking dude ate a dish called cottage pie in the mid-17th century. Ramblings aside, history is fascinating. Okay, if I wanted to make this easy for myself, I would just wait out the timer. Landmines also affect you. I'm not sure if you're aware of that, but landmines also affect the people near them. Not just the people near them. That's an annoying mix up there. If you leave, I might be able to make something of this. Fucking hell, make something of it. I have more than made something out of it. Oh, that sounds so fucking cool. My folks kept, you know, detailed enough record. You know, obviously it's not anything super interesting, but it is cool to, you know, look at a piece of paper and realize, damn, my great however many times you want to throw on that word, grandfather, you know, he wrote this shit down, and, you know, he decided it was interesting enough to note down. And honestly, that is the interesting part. It's just so boring. Because, again, who thought that this would be something that we would view of anything of import, you know, a solid, like, 20, 30, even a few hundred years down the line. It's like that little note you would put in a book saying, I need to go... Yeah, it's stuff like that. Oh yeah, I got married and then I had to milk the cows. It's like, there is no reason that anyone would think that it would be noteworthy enough to do anything about beyond note down, yeah, I got married and I milked some fucking cows. What of it? That's a fun thing you can do with landmines. If a bunch gets stacked, you can detonate them all in one go. Yeah, just, again, the whole idea of written history is fascinating. And, like, the different writing systems are also just so cool. Alright, Madam Stella. We are finishing out the vampire section. Okay, got that. Burn that. I mean, I will also say, those cows are not going to milk themselves. And as somebody who has milked cows, they do not wait for anyone or anything when it comes to whether or not they are going to get milked. You will milk them, and by God, if you don't milk them, they will make it very clear that it is an issue. Didn't do the door dance. But yeah, one of my friends is getting married this summer, and it is insane hearing how much he's getting charged for stuff like even just a simple name tag for a chair. It's like, okay, congratulations. I hope this is going to be your only wedding, because it's like $300 for a pack of 10 name tags. How do I want to play this? Cool, yeah, that'll draw him out. No, that wasn't gonna work. Beat him to death. This gives us more ammo to play with. Oh god, this is a horrifying realization of something that could be done with Dark Souls randomizer. Every time you die, it gets reset. I'm not sure how much that would actually require in terms of additional computing power, but that could be a really cool and horrifying addition to make old world rifle. This is beautiful. Cool, we've caught that one. Yeah, due to the way that this mod works, it doesn't save the seed of each randomization. You get a new one each iteration. I need to try and get into the Dark Souls modding scene more, because that doesn't surprise me. I just never thought of giving it a try. What all does that mod entail? Good lord, sir, that is some of the most awful accuracy I have seen on anyone. Nope. Yeah, you can kill me for that. That was a bad performance. God, the issue with this is I have a system that works most of the time, but it's not working for me right now. Suppressed. This one isn't horrible, it's just not. good for what I need it to do. I'll definitely have to give it a try, and I wouldn't be shocked if, you know, that's Wugs' next big thing once he's finished the randomizer. Nope. No, this run is not going well. That is a comically bad setup that I have there. Cool. Managed to glitch out that one. Now we just need to... Okay, we've got that one down there. Honestly, it could be really cool, again, very outside of his wheelhouse, to try, like, some of the more classic games, like Rogue or Thief. Really, what are some of the titles he's been messing around with recently? I haven't had the cash nor time to really look into what he's been doing on the members side of things. Okay, cool. That works for me. So what, we just got that one and that one. God damn it, that was so close. Okay, Rogue latest see Slay the Spire, Hades. How'd he fare with those? I have limited knowledge on a lot of them, so... I mean, obviously Hades is something that I am passively interested in, but nothing all that special to my mind. Mainly just because I haven't really touched on a lot of roguelikes. One genre I would absolutely love to see come back is something along the lines of Thief. Because I think the closest thing we've had to a really good Thief game is Dishonored. And not sure if you can tell, but Dishonored is not a Thief game. Yeah, I have definitely heard good things about Slay the Spire as well. Why'd you give me a landmine? Why a knife? This is awful. I will admit that is like one of the worst feelings to have. Like, I can tell this game is well made, it's just so overhyped in my opinion. Unfortunately, a example I have of that for me personally is Baldur's Gate 3, because I'm really big into TTRPGs, but I have moved on from my you know, everything must be in D&D 5th edition phase. I have discovered that other systems exist, and as such, that has soured me to 5th edition in, you know, a vitriolic counter response. God damn it. How much ammo am I looking at? And it's gonna be not enough. Yeah, no, the final act had a bunch of issues, and it is really awesome that it got more people into, like, TTRPGs as a whole in a way that does not involve Matt Mercer. He is a really skilled GM, no doubt, but god damn if people, you know, glazing the ever-living shit out of Critical Role. Again, it is being glazed for good reason, obviously, but it is not the second coming of Christ. It is just a well-made TTRPG Let's Play. Or live play, I should say. Not let me just look up. Okay, CRPG. I'm not sure if we want to count it as a non-D&D CRPG, but I really like Coder. You know, granted that is using a variant engine of 3.5. But yeah, I haven't played a lot of CRPGs. It is a genre that I could probably find a lot of enjoyment in. I just haven't taken the dive yet. Oh god, how do I play this one? Here, run and get. You know, Coder is a really weird one because again, it uses the whole 3.5 thing that I mentioned, which is really cool when it comes to, you know, what actually goes on with the system behind the glass. Yeah, one thing I will admit I was a little disappointed wasn't more of a CRPG was Cyberpunk 2077. One of my main TTRPGs these days is Cyberpunk 2020. So, was really looking forward to, you know, oh cool, I'm actually going to be able to wander around Night City like it is in the tabletop, you know, not realizing back then, oh right, it's, you know, we're talking about turning 40 plus years of tabletop lore into a game. What the fuck was that? Yeah, I haven't tried any of the really classic D&D editions. You know, again, beyond what I said with our amazing 3.5 hybrid system that works. But yeah, it is unfortunately a not a system, a genre that is not as popular as it once was. Oh yeah, I would absolutely love that. I'm only really big into the mainline. Okay, that's explicitly not true, because I'm into Cyberpunk 2020, and that stopped being mainline back in the mid-90s. But really big into like the main Cyberpunk titles, you know, as opposed to your Cyber Generation and stuff like that, which, you know, it's really cool and they absolutely have their place. It's just, you know, it's just Cyber Generation is whatever the fuck Cyber Generation is. Okay, so you all are grouping up over there. It is a really impressive universe that is fascinatingly well made, considering it started with 2013 back in the mid-80s, I want to say. But yeah, it is a really cool genre, and if you're into reading TTRPG books, I would highly recommend some of the 2013 stuff. I can send you a link to what I would consider to be essential reading, for lack of a better term. Damn it. How to play this. I know they're like splat books, and you know, just focusing on like specific areas. We've got one of the major ones is Home of the Brave. It is a source book for the Americas, specifically North America, and I'm trying to remember whether or not it touches on anything in Central America beyond like the mention of the corporate wars that took place there. Yeah, there's a lot of really cool source books. I wish that the Euro source books for Europe were a lot better. The issue with those is, you know, you're trying to encompass the entirety of Europe into a, you know, few hundred-page book. You know, that is obviously going to have its issues. Okay, I need to get over there. Yeah, I'll definitely flick that over to you, and I think I might be calling it here pretty soon, because we are getting to the point of the night where, you know, I start quoting what the definition of insanity is, and that is never a good sign. It's a really cool group, and a lot of the 2020 community is still pretty active and close. You know, we're voice crack. It's just a lot of faces that everybody kind of recognizes. Okay, got that. We just need to get down there. Gonna give myself one final attempt before I call it a night. I'm calling it a night. I don't deserve another attempt after that performance. Yeah, will say, but thank you so much for hanging out over the stream. It has been fun as hell to talk about, you know, just random bullshit of everything from the Angles and Saxons to cyberpunk and, you know, your current employment status. We should probably try to do this without a 20-second delay, and half of my focus is on trying to read chat while playing a randomizer. I'll be honest, my main focus is not on English history, but more of just general Scandinavia. But we can discuss the further details about that on your performance review. We almost streamed for 2 hours, which is pretty good considering my work day, so see you around, and we'll go from there.